Pastor Ed with Daily Devotions for Friday, September the 29th, 2023. Well, I do not, as a habit, read much poetry. In fact, I probably haven't intentionally read any poetry at all since I was back in high school. Now, I'm not necessarily proud of this, but it is the truth. Fortunately, however, they make us do things in school that we wouldn't ordinarily do on our own, because it was back in school, probably grade school actually, that out of all the poetry I was ever made to read, I was exposed to the one poem that has made the most singularly profound effect on my life. It was Robert Frost's The Road Not Taken. It goes like this: two roads diverged in a yellow wood, and sorry I could not travel both, and be one traveler, long I stood, and looked down one as far as I could, to where it bent in the undergrowth, then took the other as just as fair, and having perhaps the better claim, because it was grassy and wanted wear, though as for that the passing there had worn them really about the same. And both that morning equally lay in leaves no step had trodden black. Oh, I kept the first for another day, yet knowing how way leads on to way, I doubted if I should ever come back. I shall be telling this with the sigh, somewhere ages and ages hence. Two roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference. It is said that the inspiration for The Road Not Taken came from Frost's amusement over a familiar mannerism of his closest friend in England, a man by the name of Edward Thomas. While living in England in 1914, Frost frequently took long walks with Thomas through the countryside, and repeatedly Thomas would choose a route which might enable him to show his American friend a rare plant or a unique view, but it often happened that before the end of the walk, Thomas would regret the choice he had made and would sigh over what he might have shown Frost if they had taken a better direction. More than once, the New Englander teased his Welsh-English friend for those wasted regrets. And this poem itself was a gentle jab at Thomas. Frost, you see, was much more influenced by the biblical notion that a person having put his hand to the plow should never look back. Nevertheless, despite what Frost's true motivations or personal beliefs may have been, The Road Not Taken has always spoken to me about the necessity of choice in life, and then living the rest of our lives with the consequences of those choices, knowing full well that many of them are irreversible. Similar to Frost, one of the best-known preachers of the 20th century, Harry Emerson Fosdick, once said, "He who chooses the beginning of a road chooses the place it leads to." As Frost admitted in his poem, once you pass on a particular road or path, you may never have the chance or the opportunity to travel that way or make that choice again. On the other hand, the choices we do make, if they're the right choices for the right reasons, can and will make all the difference in the world. Luciano Pavarotti, the famous Italian tenor, once related, "When I was a boy, my father, a baker, introduced me to the wonders of song. He urged me to work very hard to develop my voice. Arrigo Pola, a professional tenor in my hometown of Modena, Italy, took me as a pupil. I also enrolled at a teacher's college, and on graduating, I asked my father, shall I be a teacher or a singer? Luciano," my father replied, "if you try to sit on two chairs, you will fall between them. For life, you must choose one chair." I chose one. It took 7 years of study and frustration before I made my first professional appearance. It took another 7 years to reach the Metropolitan Opera. And now I think whether it's laying bricks, writing a book, whatever we choose, we should give ourselves to it. Commitment, that's the key. Choose one chair, he said. Well, that's also the theme of our devotion this morning and the next couple of days as well. Life Key 7 has to do with life choices. Once we've discovered our gifts, personality types, values, and passions, it's then incumbent upon us to put them to good use. But it's never easy. The authors of Life Keys acknowledge that once we've made these self-discoveries, a typical reaction is to say, it may be exciting to understand my life gifts and spiritual gifts, but how can I possibly find the time to use them for God's purposes? Some of us will even add, I'm already working 2 jobs just to make ends meet, or I don't have enough time for my spouse and kids as it is, or I haven't taken a vacation in 2 years. In response to these reactions, the authors of Life Keys have attempted to provide a biblical perspective on the decisions we face and to give us a chance to reflect a little bit on where our time goes. For instance, do our values match how we actually use our time? Is our schedule flexible enough to allow us to align ourselves with God's purposes? Are the current life choices we have made our ally or our enemy? Time itself is a gift from God. The author of the biblical book of Ecclesiastes reminds us that for everything there is a season and a time for every matter under heaven. Arnold Bennett has written, "Time is the raw material of everything. With it, all is possible. Without it, nothing is." The supply of time is truly a miracle, genuinely astonishing when one examines it. You wake up in the morning and lo, your purse is magically filled with 24 hours. It's yours. It's the most precious of possessions. No one can take it from you. It's not something that can be stolen, and no one receives either more or less than you receive. Moreover, you cannot draw on its future. Impossible to get into debt. You can only waste the passing moment. You cannot waste tomorrow. It's kept for you. You cannot waste the next hour. It is kept for you. You have to live on this 24 hours of daily time. Out of it, you have to spin health, pleasure, money, content, respect, and the evolution of your immortal soul, he says. Its right use, its most effective use, is a matter of the highest priority. All depends on that. If one cannot arrange that an income of 24 hours a day shall exactly cover all the proper items of expenditure, one does muddle one's whole life indefinitely. We shall never have any more time. We have and will have always had all the time there is. Carl Sandburg adds, time is the coin of your life. It's the only coin you have, and only you can determine how it will be spent. Be careful lest you let other people spend it for you. Since God is both the creator and also the giver of the time that we have at our disposal, the authors of Life Keys begin by asking this simple yet important question: do you have time for God? And the answer they propose is the first biblical principle for life choices. Put first things first. Seek the kingdom of God. Well, we're going to stop there and pick up the conversation tomorrow as we continue to look at our use of time and the priorities that we put in our lives. Hope you have a great day today. Hope you use it well, and looking forward to being with you again one last time this week on tomorrow on Saturday. Until then, take care. Bye.